Hello and welcome to today's episode, presented for Digitales TV. You've requested a deep dive into the recent controversy surrounding Kanye West. And let me tell you, the stack of news articles we've got here paints a pretty intense picture.
What's fascinating here is that we're not just dealing with a celebrity gossip story. West's actions, particularly the sale of a Swastika t-shirt, tap into much larger issues, forcing us to confront the unsettling reality of how hate speech manifests and spreads in today's world.
Yeah, it's a wild turn of events. We're talking about someone who went from being a celebrated artist to promoting a symbol synonymous with one of history's darkest chapters. Where do we even begin to unpack this?
Well, the timeline itself is pretty revealing. Think back to the Grammys. West attended with his wife, Bianca Censori, and her she dress certainly grabbed attention. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. He followed that with a Super Bowl ad, not a national spot during the game itself, but a strategically placed ad on local TV stations in specific markets.
And that ad was just to drive traffic to his website. Which brings us to the crux of the matter. The website where the only item for sale was a white t-shirt emblazoned with a large black swastika. It's chilling, to say the least.
The Anti-Defamation League immediately issued a statement condemning the t-shirt, highlighting the sheer terror the symbol instills. Remember, this isn't just some abstract design. It carries the weight of the Holocaust, white supremacy, and the immense suffering inflicted by Nazi ideology.
And the irony here is that West himself had previously stated he wouldn't sell swastika merchandise, acknowledging the potential harm it could cause his fans. Yet his actions directly contradicted his words.
That contradiction is incredibly troubling. It raises the question, was this a calculated provocation? Was he intentionally exploiting a symbol he knew was dangerous?
Along with the t-shirt controversy, West's activity on X, formerly Twitter, became increasingly disturbing. His posts were filled with anti-Semitic and misogynistic content. He praised Hitler, declared himself a Nazi, expressed distrust of Jewish people, and made derogatory comments about women. It wasn't just a single outburst, it was a barrage of hate speech.
And this wasn't the first time West had run into trouble on the platform. In 2022, X, under the previous ownership, had suspended him for incitement to violence. Elon Musk, after acquiring the platform, reinstated West's account in July 2023.
But this time the backlash was swift and severe. Celebrities like David Schwimmer and Piers Morgan condemned his remarks. The ADL denounced his anti-Semitism. X itself stepped in and placed visibility limitations on some of his posts for violating their hate speech rules.
What's important to understand is that visibility limitations isn't just a vague term. It means X was actively using algorithms and moderation tools to limit the reach of those specific posts, essentially making them harder to find and less likely to spread. It's a form of shadow banning, if you will.
West's response to all this: he posted a final message thanking Elon Musk for allowing him to vent, then deactivated his own account.
It's a bizarre exit, especially considering that just a few days prior, he had defiantly stated he was never apologizing for my Jewish comments.
His actions had serious repercussions beyond social media as well. Back in 2022, Adidas ended their incredibly lucrative Yeezy partnership with him, citing his anti-Semitic outbursts as the reason. This wasn't just a slap on the wrist, it was a massive financial and reputational blow.
And what makes this even more unsettling is that there are reports that West's fascination with Hitler goes way back. Sources have claimed he's been obsessed for years, even wanting to title an album after him at one point.
This isn't just a case of someone making offhand remarks. It seems to point to a deeply ingrained ideology that's incredibly alarming.
It's a complex situation, and to fully grasp the implications of his actions, we need to dig a little deeper into the historical context and the resurgence of hate symbols like the swastika. Before we delve further, it's crucial to understand the profound impact of symbols like the swastika. It's not just an image. It represents a painful history, a stark reminder of the horrors inflicted by the Nazi regime. The very sight of it can evoke fear and trauma for those targeted by anti-Semitism and white supremacy.
Yeah, it's unsettling to think that someone with West's platform would choose to exploit such a potent symbol. He clearly understood the potential for harm, yet he went ahead with it anyway.
This deliberate act raises serious questions about his motives. Was this a desperate attempt to provoke a reaction? A misguided effort to reclaim a symbol or shock the public? Or does it reflect a deeper, more troubling alignment with the hateful ideology it represents?
And it's not just the symbol itself. It's the amplification provided by social media. West's messages, including those promoting the swastika t-shirt, reached millions of followers on X. This incident shines a harsh light on the responsibility of social media platforms in curbing the spread of hate speech.
Yeah, it's a complex issue. These platforms are designed to facilitate free expression and connect people, but where do we draw the line? When does free speech cross over into hate speech that incites violence, promotes discrimination, or normalizes dangerous ideologies?
Right. X did take some action by placing visibility limitations on some of West's posts. But is that enough? Is shadow banning essentially making those posts harder to find an effective solution?
Well, it's a start, but it also raises concerns about censorship and the potential for bias in content moderation. Who decides what's acceptable speech and what crosses the line? The debate surrounding online censorship is ongoing, with valid arguments on both sides.
This situation underscores the urgent need for a broader societal conversation about these issues. It's not just about Kanye West. It's about how we as a society address the resurgence of hate speech and symbols in the digital age.
Absolutely. We need open and honest discussions about the delicate balance between free expression and protecting vulnerable groups from hate speech. We need to equip ourselves and future generations with the tools to critically evaluate information, recognize manipulative tactics, and resist the allure of simplistic solutions to complex problems.
Education is key. Understanding the history of hate symbols like the swastika, grasping the devastating consequences of intolerance and discrimination, and fostering empathy and understanding are crucial in combating these harmful ideologies.
It's not just about accumulating knowledge, it's about developing critical thinking skills. We need to be able to discern fact from fiction, recognize propaganda and biased information, and engage in respectful dialogue even when faced with differing viewpoints.
The Kanye West situation serves as a stark wake-up call. It highlights the fragility of tolerance and the alarming ease with which hate can spread in our interconnected world.
But amidst the negativity, there's a glimmer of hope. The fact that we're having this conversation, that people are outraged by West's actions, and that organizations like the ADL are actively working to combat hate, shows that there's a powerful counter-movement pushing back against these dangerous trends.
It's a reminder that we're not powerless in the face of hate. We have the power to speak out against injustice, to support those who are targeted, and to work toward building a world where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued. It can be overwhelming to confront these issues, but it's crucial to remember that we are not bystanders in this fight. We have the power to make a difference.
Absolutely. Our choices, both big and small, can contribute to a more inclusive and just society. We can choose to support organizations like the ADL that are on the front lines combating hate. We can engage in constructive dialogue, challenging hateful rhetoric whenever we encounter it, whether online or in person.
And we can hold individuals and institutions accountable for their actions. Consumers can make informed choices about the brands they support, choosing to boycott those that align with hate groups or individuals promoting hateful views. We can also demand that social media platforms take a more proactive approach to curbing hate speech, pushing for greater transparency and accountability in their content moderation practices.
Yeah, it's about using our voices and our actions to create a world that reflects our values. A world where diversity is celebrated, where respect and empathy are the norm, and where everyone feels safe and valued.
This deep dive into the Kanye West situation has been a challenging one, but it's also served as a catalyst for important conversations. It's a stark reminder of the work we still need to do to combat hate and intolerance in all its forms.
And it highlights the power we each possess to make a difference. Whether it's educating ourselves and others, speaking out against injustice, or supporting those who are targeted, our actions can contribute to a more just and equitable world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a final question for you to ponder. In an era where information spreads like wildfire online, how can we effectively combat the normalization of hate speech and ensure that future generations are equipped with the knowledge and critical thinking skills to resist these dangerous ideologies?
It's a question that demands our continued attention and our collective effort. Let's continue these conversations, challenge hate wherever we encounter it, and work together to build a world where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued.
Don't forget to subscribe to Digitales TV for more updates, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.